Hello again, listeners, and welcome back to the Kotu Classic FPL podcast. I know it's been a while. This is the the season in review. The season just ended about a few weeks back, so I'm sorry, guys, it took this long for us to record the review, but it has to be done. Just
Mm.
see, look back on our season and see how well or how poorly we did, or what are the lessons that we learned. Some of the things that we'll take into the new season to make us better managers. Since we are now taking in consideration the overall FPL career, Chama. So we have to be we have to be conscious of our season and take notes.
Yeah,
We'll be
definitely.
discussing we'll be discussing some of the leagues, mini leagues, the Kotu Classic mini league, and the head-to-head and the cup. Some of the winners, and also we'll go into the middle of the pod, which talks about the review, the personal targets that we had coming into the season, the lessons we learned, the good or bad, like I said before, and then the key takeaways. And then we'll just touch up on a bit on the fixtures because the fixtures have been released for the 2023-24 season. So we'll talk about the teams that have the best fixtures, the first four fixtures, so that we can at least get our minds to start, having an idea of which players to pick. Even though it's a long transfer market, things are bound to happen. But yeah, just to get our mood in preparation for it. Chama, it's been a while. Nakam.
Boy, it's been a long while. Yeah, FPL. I'm just happy that the season has finally ended, and then
Fine.
we can start looking forward to the next one, because yeah, this season has been a total write off for me, but
Mm,
also a lot of lessons learned from this season,
yeah,
which
definitely.
I will not want to repeat in the subsequent seasons. But yeah, it is good. It is good to be off FPL. But yeah, we had to do this week. We wouldn't do justice to the Go to Classic podcast without doing the season review. So yeah, we are here. Even though it's gonna be tough for me, it's gonna be a tough few minutes
Yeah,
discussing my FPS season. But yeah, let's go with it. Why not?
yeah. So let's just start with the mini league, the Kotu Classic mini league, the top 10. You know,
Yeah.
uh, it was a very competitive season, honestly, because man, even though I was doing well in the season, I still like fell out of the top five. I think I've only been in there once. So, starting from number 10, we had Chengo, the Congo FPL planner with
The
2,540
FPL
points.
planner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
FPL planner. In
Yeah,
ninth,
yeah, yeah.
going
He's
down to ninth, I was up there somewhere, in seventh or something, and I fell down the last day to ninth.
Mhm.
Glazers out 42 points with total of 2,543. In eighth, we have the Icon strategy with 2,550 points. Seventh, Chisco FC with 2,558. Sixth, Party at Epstein's 2,578. Team Maverick 2,578. Wow, level on points. And then fourth, the Pinnacle 2,587. Champ 2023, Ben. You should have been on the pod to come and explain how he managed to have to finish top three. 2,592. And in first, I mean, the second one is Manaman um, with 2,606. And our winner is Mr. Fantasy Freetown Force FC with 2,653. So it was really competitive, man. Like you can see the points. Not much points difference between I think 10th and first. Maybe about how many points? About 100. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was tough, man. It was a very 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 competitive season in the Koto Classic Mini League, and I think it's gonna get tougher and tougher each and every season because you have more and more top managers coming in, forcing their way into the top 10, top five. So yeah. So congrats to Mr. Fantasy, Freetown Force FC. I think we'll contact you for your prize. Yep. Chama, any comments or thoughts on the top 10?
Well, yeah, congratulations to all of them, to anybody who made it to the top 10. And I'm very happy that we have you there. Because of course, and representing the Kodu Classic. Yeah, representing the Kodu Classic. That was that, yeah.
Representing, yeah.
Yeah, very happy to see you there. Yeah, and Ben, of course, Ben is also part of the Kodu Classic. He's
Yeah.
also sometimes on the show. But yeah, his top 10 is a little bit Watahasu that no lag over
I'm
there. But I will not.
skeptical.
Uh, yeah, Watahasu, Watahasu. Why? But congratulations to him and everybody who made it to the top three. Like Fantasy, like you say, Mr. Fantasy. I know he has been on us on Twitter on the Kodu Classic page. When are we gonna give out the prizes and stuff like that? It will come, Mr. Fantasy. Don't worry. We, as we promised, we will the Kodu Classic will always, or the Kodu Classic, the Kodu Classic Yellow Football Bundle and Kodu Classic will always give you guys the prizes that you win before the season start, like we say, and that's the plan, and we are working on it. So congratulations to all of you guys, and yeah, let's look forward to another season. Hopefully, you guys will be up there again and competing. Like
Yep.
you say, like number 10 planner. I think he's also one of the top FPL managers. He had a troubling season, but he ended up finishing in the top 10, which shows how good a
Can you
manager
imagine?
is. And yeah, some very good names there. Like I think kudos to everyone. If Mr. Strategy, what is Chisco FC? I think he's from Nigeria. We have Tom Bright, he's from UK, Ahmed Tijan from the Gambia. So we have representation from everywhere. Mr. Freetown himself, he's from Sierra Leone. So it's beautiful to see that the Kodu Classic
Yeah.
is gone global. And congratulations to anyone who made it, and especially particularly the top three.
Yep. Moving on, the H2, the Kotu Classic head-to-head league. Yeah, this one was a bit tough. So, Cham, I think you have more insight about this league than me. I
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah, yeah, yeah. The Kodu Classic mini league, the Kodu Classic head-to-head league.
yeah.
Yeah, the champion again is Bernard Gomez, but you can see that he start again. So this is why I say I think he has already revealed himself. This is why I said his league title was a bit, the matter has to. So, but anyways, congratulations to Bernard Gomez. It's different from the other Ben. It's the same Ben, but it's different from the Ben in the different teams. So, and then you have someone somewhere that is Sarasar. He don't want to say out his name, but it's Sana. Sana, congratulations for finishing second. It was tied in the final week. And actually, I played Ben in the final week, I think. But yeah, it was an easy ride for him because. So yeah. Anyways, congratulations to Ben for winning the Kodu Classic head-to-head league. Of course, the
Head-to-head.
Kodu Classic head-to-head league, there is no prize for the head-to-head league. We only have the prize for the mini league. This head-to-head league is,
Yeah. It's something on the
it's
side.
just there. Yeah, something on the side. But yeah, the Code Classic League, yeah, that's it. And congratulations to them and anybody who made it. It's just about 20 managers in there. So if you finish in the top 10, you are in the top 50%. So yeah, but I would say the top, like here, I would just congratulate the top and everybody who made it in the top 10. Congratulations to everyone. Give everyone a shout out. Yeah.
All
And
right.
then
Mhm.
we have the cup.
The cup winner, yeah.
Yeah,
Chisco
the cup
FC.
winner, which is
I
Chisco
think you
FC.
finished
Yeah.
second. Was it second or third in the mini league?
Yeah, Cisco, he's in the top 10 in the mini league. He's in the
Top 10.
top 10 in the mini league. Not first, not second or third, but he's in the top 10.
Okay.
I remember calling his name.
Congrats to
Yeah.
being the cup winner. It's not easy to win the cup because like it happens that you might have a bad game week and you've been doing well all along, and then you have a higher score, but then the person you're playing against just happens to have a better score than you, even by 1 point, and that's it. So congrats, Chisco FC, for being the
Yeah.
cup winner.
Congrats, Cisco. He beat me in the finals. So in the final
Uh,
game of the cup.
oh yeah, you went to the
Yeah.
finals.
So I went to the finals, but I don't want to say anything about that. So let's just move.
Okay, so let's talk about more about the season in depth, like the season in review. Some of our assess our own our personal seasons and see like how things went.
Mhm.
It's funny in a season where like because in previous season I think I've been more tuned into the game, using all these tools and trying to predict. But I think with more experience, for me especially this season, I kind of use less of those and just try to be patient. That's one thing that I think I learned more about in this season is I
Mhm.
was very patient, and I
Mhm.
also try to, because obviously let's be honest, there's a lot of tools out there. There are many what do you call it again, YouTube videos. There are some channels that have really good content that put out this content, so it's easy to follow and also to look at the big picture and what everybody is doing and see as an experienced manager like what can you take from those videos. You don't follow the crowd, you don't have to follow the crowd, but then have your own mind and then make your own decisions. I think it was quite an interesting season, I would say, generally for
Mhm.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think I get into the season very pumped up and very like how can I say? I was quite confident to going into the season. After the season I had the previous one, I was very confident that I can, replicate that kind of season because kind of I had a blueprint in me that okay, this is the way you can achieve success in FPL. So I just followed that trend again, but then I got a stumble. Like at the start of the season, I had a very very difficult start to this season. But again, yeah, because I'm somebody who is very information for me is power in FPL. When I say that, I mean I want to gather as much information as possible. Then I will make decision because usually I feel I can digest this kind of information and then take what I want there and then throughout take out what I don't need from that information. So sometimes some people they say overwhelming information with yourself it
Hmm.
becomes a problem for you.
Yeah,
But for me personally, it is a strength for me. I want to get as many information as possible. Like the most important thing for me is how do you digest this information you receive and then take what you want, what you really think can help you, and then leave out leave out the bad. So this I think I did this season too. Of course, until after the midway or something, it was not working. It become less and less until the season reach its climax, like at the end of the season. But generally, I was still tuned in with when it comes to information. I think I just have a very very bad season, and then capped with in the end, I could not,
you lost interest. Yeah, I think you
I,
lost
I,
interest.
I could not. Yeah, I lose interest. I hate to say this word. I lose interest in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
game,
you lost interest.
but I get to that point where it was difficult. Like I don't know, but it was what it is, and that does not mean I am done. I'm done. Like I'll be back. I'll be back. Anyways,
Stronger than
I'm very
ever.
confident that I'll be back. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so I think before the beginning of the season, we have like pre-season, the episode where we talk about how we want to enter the season. I think I wrote some notes here for me. I said
Yeah.
season mentality. I think about 6 points. The first point is revert back to being a conservative manager because last season I think my target was what 100K. If that didn't
Yeah.
happen, I think I finished 142K. So I was like, okay, maybe I should temper my expectations a bit. Just see how it goes. So yeah, it might be to being a conservative manager. I mean, take things slow, don't rush things. And I think with each and every season that I've taken FPL seriously, I see that patience is getting better in my like. I feel like it's getting better for me. So I think that
Yeah.
was a plus for me. I think I did well in that. The second is endeavor to be more patient with transfers. This is a bit tricky because sometimes like if you have a player that's doing well and you need to jump on the player immediately, like like because you don't know when the fire is gonna go off. So the
Mhm.
timing of that I still haven't gotten yet. Some I've had most of these players that I've jumped on at the right time, but some I stayed on too long for. Some, I get too emotionally attached to the player and it's difficult for me to get rid of the player even though I know I should. But so I think I've done better, but I could do much better like in coming seasons. So that is something that I still need to work on. Be more flexible with strategy. I think this is something that I've mastered this season, this past season. I think we talk about this most of the time when I have a transfer strategy and I come and tell you, okay, this is how it's done. This time around, I had a very clear strategy, especially with my transfers during the double game week. I think we discussed this. So it was clear and everything worked out fine. And then that was, I think, I had my highest gain during that time. So not too bad. It was easy to do because the fixtures were out. Like obviously it was obvious that you had to make all those decisions because teams like Man City had double gaming, so obviously you have to maximize using the chips. So that I've gotten under the bag. Take less. Number four is take less risk with captaincy. This was easy. I think captaincy this season was very boring. It was Haaland.
Mhm.
If you didn't put it on Haaland,
Mhm.
you're making you. It's like if you don't captain Haaland one game and he decides to score 3 goals, that's it. Your season is pretty much over because you're going to play catch up most of the time. So it was just easy to leave it on him. And there are just some few games when Man City had a blank or when the game was a bit difficult or they had a tough fixture, which is still not a reason not to captain in this past season. So I hope next season is going to be difficult and the captaincy will be more challenging for us. But looking at things and the way Man City are going, I don't think that's going to be anytime soon. So we'll see. Fifth is do not be emotional, play the game, remove biases. This one I can hold up my hand and say honestly, when it comes to Man U, I'm a bit very biased. I still don't feel like we are good enough. I think I've
Mhm.
used the form of last season or the previous season before to like influence my coming to this season with like Bruno Fernandez and all these players. I don't really feel like they are good enough. But our defense had the best clean sheets in the season, right? And I've
Yeah.
never really had any of my defenders apart from Luke Shaw, and that was just a few game weeks. So I need to
Mm.
evaluate and see like, okay, my team is doing well. Remove myself, be objective, and see, okay, which players do I need? I had Rashford, but everybody had Rashford anyway. So yeah.
Yeah.
Six is be mindful of when template is changing and be ahead of the curve. Yeah, this is a bit difficult. This is like the OGs
Mhm.
of of
That
FPL.
is
Like,
that is the game actually. That is the
oh
game.
yeah,
Fantasy
it's very
football.
difficult. This is the last thing to master, I think, in FPL to be like a really good FPL player. But I'm getting there. So yeah,
Mhm.
these are my season mentality, and this is what I actually took forward in going into the season. And I think I did well on most of them, to be honest. That's why
Yeah.
I think I did well. Um,
Yeah.
how about yourself?
Yeah. For me, it was more about building from last season. It was more about building from the previous season because the previous season, if you look at it in a way, I ended the season quite. I ended the season like my rank at the end of the season was very like I was very happy with my rank.
Yeah.
Like I would have taken that at the start of the season, even though in the later stage of the season, I was not happy because I get to a point where I could have been in the top 100 or top 200 in the world or stuff like that, but I ended up with 1,000. So why did I drop? Where did I have a late drop? That was that was this season what I wanted to improve. Like, how do I finish well? How do I finish the season well? So, in my mind, I was just gonna come and have that strong start that I usually have,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
I kind of had that template. Like, I kind of had that blueprint of this is the way you do it. My starting mentality was for me was FPL is a marathon, but you can start with a sprint.
Mhm.
This is the phrase that I use at the start of the season. FPL is a marathon, but you can start with a sprint. By that I mean, over the course of the season, you have to manage, be there with people and then progress with them. But it's a marathon where you can just start with a booster and then jump and then be in the top 100 or top
And then
1,000 or stuff like,
the pace, yeah.
and then keep that pace and then going with them, because that's what I did last season. I think that
Yeah,
was possible,
it worked.
but
Yeah.
but it was but I started the season very, very badly, and then I never really, really, get back to what I wanted, because I was becoming a little bit greedy at the start of the season, trying to catch those differences at the start, at that early stage.
Mhm.
Not necessarily too much of a difference, but a bit of them. And then Manchester City came, Haaland came. I was never in tune with them. I was never really in tune with Manchester City at the start of the season. I did. I know. I waited too long to get into Haaland into the Haaland train, and into that Haaland captaincy, Parma captaincy kind of thought, because this is not my thing. Even when Liverpool was doing well, like when Salah was doing, he was never my permanent captain.
Mhm.
Like, this is the previous season. It's always about picking the opportunities. Even the FPL winner this season, like, I watch a video about him. They analyze his season. I watch with the fantasy football scout with Joe, the captaincy. They analyze him. He was not a captain. He wasn't a permanent captain for Haaland. He captained him mostly, but you have to be brave to leave Haaland at some
You
point.
have to be very brave. Yeah,
You have to
definitely.
be very brave to do that. Yeah, for me, I have that bravery in me to go away from him. But whenever I do, it did
It
not work,
punishes
right?
you.
And he
Like that one.
punishes me.
Yeah.
And another thing that I learned, big thing that I learned. Uh, I'm talking about my season mentality, how I went into the season. This is how I wanted to go with my previous season approach of captaining, following my captaincy metric stick up, getting the best captaincy all the time, and then following that, and then put that into this season. But this season, the big lesson that I learned was, like, I find it very hard to deal with Liverpool doing badly. You know,
I think that has exactly what was wrong with your season. Is because Liverpool
Mhm.
were doing badly. You also did badly. I think because your past few FPL seasons, right? You're all focused
Yeah.
on your core. The core of your team were Liverpool players,
Mhm.
right? So I think as a Liverpool fan, like you advise me always to always separate being a fan of your club and also FPL. I think you kind of
Mhm.
merged the two this season. That's why, because there were times in the beginning where you had like Trent and all these guys, and they were not doing well. But you spend so
Yeah.
much time on them that you didn't realize that, oh, okay, I think it's time to switch now. But yeah, I think it's just unfortunate that you were like so focused and zoned in on Liverpool that by the time you realized what was happening, it was already too late.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Definitely, definitely. It's difficult. Like even now, even up to this time, it's very difficult for me to say, like because I kind of believe that this team will turn around because we were so good the
and all
previous season.
yeah.
So like it's not gonna be turned like we did not turn a bad team overnight.
Hmm.
Like a lot of bad, like, but it really affected me. And even though I can always justify my reason for keeping the Liverpool players, there is the fixture here, there is this coming here. I can always justify those kind of things. This is Salah. In the end, Salah ended up the season with the most points for midfielders, but he was 13 million. He was the most expensive player. So to do that as the most expensive player, it is expected from you, but you have to do it by a bigger margin. Trend stuff like that. Trend, in the end, I was enjoying his points,
Yeah,
and
in
that's
the
when
end,
I had
yeah, yeah, definitely. We
when
came
I
out
had
on
my son with him. Yeah, yeah. But still, it was too late. And I never sold him. Trent was the only player who never left my team last season. That which is like it's crazy, right? Everybody sold him. But I was I believe so much in these players
uh,
because of
uh,
what they did in the past. So it affected my season. But I think most FPL managers, like not just those who support Liverpool, they find it so hard to remove their loyalty with this kind of players.
it's
Like
difficult. Yeah, it is.
it's so difficult, especially if you are so tuned into the game. It is so difficult to not be loyal with them because of what they have given you over the past. I don't know if I can do that next season.
I think
Like,
you have to. I think you have to start next season with a fresh, new like ideology. Like it's like your first time playing FPL and using what you know now, like your tools and stuff like that. Reading up on
mhm.
stats. Just purely base it on stats. I think you definitely do well. Well,
But
because
that's the
you've
thing.
learned a lot.
If
You've
you
learned a
go on stats, if you go on stats, if you go by stats, you have to back Liverpool, despite the bad
yeah,
season we
yeah,
have.
yeah,
You have to back them, right? And, and like for me, Liverpool is my problem. To be honest, they are really my problem. They are really my problem in fantasy. If they do well, I do well. If they do badly,
yeah,
I
yeah,
do badly. I don't know how can like. It's difficult to advise me even on that one. I don't know how to improve on this
yeah.
because yeah, but yeah, that is what it is. Anyways,
Yeah.
I don't want to talk too much about about
Yeah,
this.
it's okay. Let's just go into some of the like the touch up on the stats that we had. I think this we used um
Yeah, this was
Premier-
yeah
Premier-
your season. You ended like this. Just
yeah,
talk about your
Premier
season.
Fantasy Tools. Yeah, this is from Premier Fantasy Tools. So shout out to Premier Fantasy Tools. You can get your manager ID and then just go and they will analyze your season for you, and then you can see it in like a pictorial format, makes it more easy to digest. So I finished 69,000. This is actually my highest rank in FPL to date. So we're doing well. Top 1%. My all-time rank is like my career. 700.
That's not important. I don't know if why we put that one there. Okay, go ahead.
FPL
Yeah,
career.
that has it has a lot of effect. It has a lot of impact. There were
Uh,
times you don't want to play. You are playing just for fun.
oh yeah,
All
in the
those kind of
beginning
things comes into play.
I was going in
Yeah,
and
I
going out. So I mean, I only
yeah
started taking it seriously the last 3 or 4 seasons. So yeah.
yeah, definitely. I can attest to that.
Yeah, so going to the next.
The next one, yeah.
Yeah, so you can see the team performance. This is the season, right? In the first game week, it shows the trend. Like you can see, there's a lot of movement. You see that the downward trend. I mean, at some point it was very steady, but then at some point it's difficult to actually, when you get to a particular level, it's difficult to make headway to improve your rank as you get closer to that 50K or 100K because like there are a lot of good managers there. So yeah, first game week it was 69 points, 69. Sorry, 2 million, 63 points. And then from there I had some green. You see the trend going down. You know, and I mean, I think Cham, I think you can probably explain this this more in game week. I think game week 7 to 9. You can see
Yeah.
the spike.
I think like this is a proper FPL season because usually you will start in the like around the million ranks, then
Two
you can
million,
improve your
3 million, yeah, and then
then you find yourself at some point where you are stable. Like for example, if you look at your season around game week 27 to game week 30, game week 38, it's quite a straight line. The
yeah,
graph is
it's
quite
like
straight.
gradually sloping down. Yeah,
Yeah, where it's very difficult to, especially when you get to that rank, it's very
yeah,
difficult to
to make
to go
headway.
with a
Yeah.
significant rank. But nonetheless, I want to say something
Mm-hmm.
about your team. I don't know if you would take it, but you had a like from that point to game week 25, 26. That was a perfect season. That is what you wanted. And then at the end of the season, it's always about
Keeping
am
your
I
rank.
happy with what I have,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
am I happy to push? And I personally, I feel you were kind of content with that plateau, and that kind of like you were consistent, okay?
mm-hmm.
Because if you don't take risk at that point to go higher, you're just gonna maintain that rank. You know,
Yeah.
you okay. If you take that risk, there is this risk of going falling
Backwards. Yeah,
or pushing even higher. That push I because you can remember when we had chats. You are say, okay, I'm in the top 100. I say, okay, now you have to target top 50. Now you have to target top 10k. Like
yeah,
that is that kind of push that you did not push yourself to that level.
yeah.
You were
I
kind of
think so.
you
Yeah,
just plateau and then you feel okay. I'm content with this because your
but
target at the start of the season was top 100k, right? And then once you get into that top 100k, even though there were times you say, okay, maybe I should change the target to top 50k or stuff like that. But you always say, okay, no, let's keep it to that rank. But I understand because it was the rank that you set yourself at the start of the season that I want to get into the top 100k. I've never get into the top 100k, and then you get there, you were comfortable. I feel you should not have been you should not have been content with the top 100k at any
actually,
point.
you can
Yeah,
say I was a bit comfortable, but like last season when you were at like I think we had this about 2 or 3 seasons ago when you get to that point and then you like you're okay with the rank and you don't push, and I said that maybe you kind
yeah,
of felt comfortable. I got in that stage where I think I realized now that it's about being comfortable and number one, but also it's difficult to progress in this when you get to a certain type of rank range, like because
yeah,
everybody around you have the same team. So like,
yeah,
and if you take like normally it requires planning, but if you take like a hit to get a player, sometimes even if you take a minus, and next thing you know you're falling behind like a few thousand, rank. I was like, man, this is this is more difficult than you thought that it would be. If you're
yeah,
in that particular like situation, for you were in the situation. I was outside the situation. I was advising you, oh, you need to do this. But then when I found myself in that situation, I was like, wow, this is it's not easy. Like, it's not as easy as you would think. I was like, wow, this is.
yeah,
I think I understand Chama more now. So yeah, I think I can say
yeah,
that
yeah.
definitely it wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be to actually get a higher rank when you get to that
Mhm,
100k inside that 100k or 150 or 200k rank. Definitely,
mhm. Yeah.
I kind of understand it much better now. So yeah. Um,
Mhm,
Moving on to our next slide. So you see, this I always wanted to put this here to show how boring it was as a season when it comes to captaincy. I mean, player analysis highlights. This is like it's terrible. Most started Haaland, 32 games. Most points Haaland, 440 points. Most effective Haaland, 13.33 points per game. Best value Haaland. So like very 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 boring. So it was easy, I think, for most managers to just stick to Haaland and just go and sleep. We were not doing much of FPLing, or you can say playing actual FPL with our captaincy, because
mhm,
somebody was already there. You don't have to think about it. It's like most of us were afraid to even play FPL with the captaincy because we are afraid that if you don't captain Haaland, next thing you know, you found yourself like 200,000 points behind. I'm telling you, man. It's like it was so scary. Some people did it and they realized that, oh man, this is very, like you're watching the games and then you're standing behind your couch and you're all nerves. So Man City points 607. So it's not much to show. It just shows how biased or how like one-sided the whole thing was, dominated by Man City. Even though
mhm,
Arsenal had their own, their own moments during the season, but it was all Haaland and Man City. Definitely nobody even came close. Yep. Moving on.
Yeah, but I just mention one thing about just let me go back a little bit.
Hmm.
Which one was that? Yeah, this one. I think it's Haaland because I want to point out that again the winner uh he took
Yeah.
a bit of risk when he get to the end, and
Mhm.
that is the kind of risk I was talking about, right? When it comes to you, because for me, my biggest disappointment the previous season was also doing the same thing that you did at the
Hmm.
end, like I am
That's
in the top
Kotu. Yeah,
because
it's
my target was top 5K. At the end, I ended up seeing myself in the top 300 or stuff like that. And then, oh, okay, now I should just, just hold, and then I keep doing the same thing, captaining the same players that everybody was captaining. Even though sometimes you see opportunity here and there. Okay, I can jump to this player. Those opportunities to take them, I did not take them. So yeah, that's why I mentioned that about that. But yeah, again, yeah, it was a good. It was not a bad. It's never a bad thing to just follow the template, but it's boring, like you say.
it's
It's very
boring. Yeah,
very boring.
that's the thing.
Just following, yeah,
Yeah,
following Haaland and captaining him.
definitely.
Yeah,
But I hope next season will be different. I just want it to be different. Like there's a challenge somewhere, or make Haaland so
yeah,
expected that you like, even if you get him, Anyway, we'll see. That's for next season. But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Let's go to my team, huh?
yeah. Just talk captain analysis. What else is there? I think
Yeah,
this whole
you,
is
you know,
for
the
it's not.
captain. Okay,
I think it's null and
go
void
ahead.
because there's not much captaining happening. Because last season compared to this season, you had to play the game. It was Salah, it was Kane, it was Son. You had a lot of like 4 or 5 options, or even more than that you had to like, find your way around. Carefully plan. Okay, who has the best fixture? Okay, how do I plan this so that I can have the best captain each and every week? This game week I have 79, percent success of captaincy, but that's just Haaland. So
Uh,
I mean, 640 points for my captain is good if you look at my stats with captaincy compared to other seasons, but it's just using the same player. It's just Salah, a few of them. Salah, I think Saka, and then Mitoma. Some of these you can see the Saka red. There's some of these that most of them the differential captains that I have didn't really do too well. So that will just force you back to go and choose the captain that you're familiar with. I hope next season is different. To be honest, I think it will be much more challenging for us. But I
you,
will enjoy
re-
it.
yeah, you remember we had the captaincy metric sticker at the start of the
I
season.
was like, it's like there's no point.
Because yeah, it was no point at the end of the day.
No.
At the end of the day, talking about it because everybody will go with Haaland at the end of the day,
Yeah, go with
and
Haaland.
you cannot even sell any idea of a different captain to anybody. Nobody will even listen to you, and yeah. Because last season, I think one of the main things that helped me that elevated my FPL like season was the captaincy, how I managed my captaincy. But 17.3 points per game week, that was a solid captaincy point. Because of course, if you remember well, I had a very bad history
Yeah,
when it
yeah,
comes to captaincy. Then I had to change something, and then Haaland came. Yeah. So let's look at my team, huh?
yeah.
Before we start, I have not even I had the screenshot, but I did not react to all these things. So I am just reacting to
First time,
those things.
first
But I
reaction. First time reaction.
first, yeah,
Real
yeah, yeah. Let's go. The rank here, I know. I ended the season with 580 something, 589,000 in the world top 6%. Yeah, it's not good enough. Like it's way out of what I targeted myself.
time.
So yeah, I did not take anything from the rank. I know it's a bad rank. That's all I can take away from that rank. But I know it could have been better. Even if I try harder, I could have get a better rank. But in the end, uh, like
You
a lot
felt
of
like
things
it
happened.
felt like it was pointless,
It
to
was
keep.
exactly. I could not, I could not get myself tuned into, caring. Even though I wanted to be a person who care because I do this, like I do a podcast like this, me and you. So I wanted to care about the ranks and all those things, but my system just could not accept it.
Mm,
Even though my image outside, so it made me feel guilty. At some point,
mm,
I had to force myself to care. Like if you remember well, we had a final day podcast, right? We talked about the final game week, what we are planning to do, and going to that final game week, I saved a transfer, so I went with 2 free transfers into the final game week. Until I say I was gonna bring Bobby and captain him for his
Yeah.
final game. We already talked about that. And what happened was 15 minutes after the deadline, I've not made my transfer. So I ended the season with 2 free transfers in my pocket. So I did not do anything. My captain in the final game was even Haaland, who was not even playing. Everybody knew Haaland was not playing. So yeah, like it makes me feel guilty. So, but I have to voice that out. It makes me feel guilty as somebody who plays the game with so much seriousness and with so much thing to win and things like that. It kind of made me feel guilty. So that's why it's difficult for me to take anything from my rank, but it's gonna be part of my record, so it's gonna be there. So just to say that. Yeah, you can see at the start of the season, like actually I started the season very
well.
How did I miss that? How did I miss that I started the season quite well? Because I was in
the first two game weeks, like you did really well because you were like what?
Yeah, I was in the top 1 million.
Yeah,
I was in the top 1
the
million.
first 2 game weeks, yeah, you were in top 1 million.
Yeah, I don't know, but this is what the numbers say. But I'm very surprised to see that in my team, because according to from what I saw, I never get into the top 1 million until game week something. So yeah, but this is what it shows.
I think from game week 3 is when you came out, because you can see. I remember the first 2 game weeks, it wasn't as bad, but then I think game week 3 and 4 is when you just went all the way to 3 million or something like that, and then that was like because it's different from the start that you had the previous season, and then that was just what just made you aware like, oh man, I think I'm having a bad season here, and then that was when you started making all the moves. Remember, you started playing your wild card early and stuff like that. I remember you playing your chips early to try to reverse the effect of the bad start. So yeah.
Yeah, you are right. I think I played the wild card around game week 4 or game week 4. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because actually I have no problem playing my wild card early. For me, I am very comfortable doing that. Because even last season, I think I played it after game week 4. I just have a strong start and then I boost myself into that wild card. But this season, but I had a strong start from what I see right now. But it's very hard for me to believe this, It's very hard for me because I cannot remember. Actually, I cannot believe that this is true. But it is what the numbers are showing. I will have to confirm this after on my phone, and then we will talk about that later. But this is what it shows. And then I had a mixed season going up and down. I had a lot of red. You can see my graph. It's just
like
like
very
to do like this, right? But my graph is just up and down, up and down, up and down all the way. And then this is just my summary of my season according to Fantasy Football. What is it? Fantasy Football Tools. So I will have to confirm that, but that is it. The next one, again, Haaland. 22 times I captain Haaland, right? My baby was 22 times. Is actually this my team? Is this actually my team, Bruce? I'm not sure.
Are you sure? Well, I think, yeah, man. I mean, 22. Like compared to mine, I captain way more than you. I remember 100%.
Yeah, because and then you have how many? 20. So there must be something wrong with my team here. But they say
the right team for you.
They say it's my team. Let me just confirm.
Yeah, I captain Haaland 32 times. 20? Most captain 20 selections.
Did they put my team name there?
Oh, most started. No, never mind.
No, boy, this is not my team. This is not my. This is not my team. I just put somebody's team there. Let's just
okay. Let's go. Let's just live. You can just use the site and then just show your team.
I just get there and then they will show me my team. Why did they show me this team when I sign in with my account?
No, you can sign in with your account and then put in somebody's FPL ID. It doesn't matter anybody's. You can have it there.
Okay, I will crop that part when I will cut that part when you
can just show the site and you can just go through it.
No, I did not have exactly. I could not have that. Yeah, I will see. I will see how I decide now. Share. FP. Okay, that's it. Okay, guys, this is my actual team. You can see that is the start I had. That was the start I had.
Okay, this makes
This is
more
the actual.
this makes more
This
sense.
makes sense now. Yeah, this makes sense. That was the start I had.
Oh yeah.
I started at 6 million,
Ooh,
and
yeah,
then
this
you
was
know,
terrible.
yeah, the first game week I had 6 million, and then I moved to.
Oh,
I
what?
never really get into the 1 million until game week 31. That's when I actually get into the top
Ooh.
1 million, and then I move, and then I finish the
Ah.
season. This is my team. Sipa, that's it. So I was on another team, but yeah, my rank was 641,000. Yeah, so five hundred
Oh,
thousand
okay.
group.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Who did you captain most then? Let me see. What did
let's go to that chat. It is not gonna be Haaland. It's the
it's
guy
up, I
down.
think, is it?
It's
Oh,
yeah, Salah. Most captain 14 times Salah. 14
320
times
points.
Salah.
That's a lot of points, you know.
Yeah, he
Oh,
gave me a lot of points. He was
yeah,
not bad over this season. He was not bad. It was just spells that
yeah.
he was bad. Like for
440,
a
yeah.
period.
Yeah, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see, of course, favorite team Liverpool. Most points from Liverpool. Most effective player was Fernandes. Martinelli, best valued player in my team was Martinelli. So for me, my team was mixed. Most start, Trent. He started 35 games, and yeah, 71 selected 71 players. Like I said, for me, like this, what can this tell you? Of course, it will tell you that Liverpool bias is there,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. And another thing it will tell you is 14 times I captain Salah. So I'm not gonna like I'm very diverse when it comes to the captaincy. Even though my season was not great, like it was not like Salah was everything I had. It's always about for me about finding the best captain every other game week, finding the best captain every other game week. That did not work. That plan did not work. That was the plan I went with last season. Like I say, Salah was the obvious pick for captaincy, but he was never my permanent captaincy. I hate to use this word. This is the permanent captain for me. I hate to use that term. I
I
will
think
always
you
go with the player I think is the better captain
I
in
think
the
you're one of
particular
the
game.
few that actually stuck to their guns and actually played the game. But for us, most of us, we like, you know what, this doesn't make any sense. You try to do
But it
it,
did not. Yeah,
it doesn't work, and then you come back to Haaland again. Because like I tried it a few times and I was like, it was terrible. I was like, you know what, let me just keep it safe and use Haaland and climb the ranks. And that was what happened. Yeah.
yeah. So
Uh
that was the story. That's been the story of my city. It was terrible. The
so
start
mhm.
and the reason for the bad start actually was like I said that greed that I have. Let me just get this booster and then get these players. Even though I captain Salah in the first game week and stuff like that, got almost a lot of popular players, but and also Arsenal to cost me a lot of little bit of
Mhm.
trouble. I think. Yeah,
Scroll
but
down,
anyways,
to your overall FPL. It just shows. Look at it. Go up. Yeah, you see. No, go up slightly. The
uh,
next one. Yeah, this one. That
yeah,
passed it again.
yeah. That
Go down.
you gotta see it. This one.
No, the
Manager
one
all
down.
time.
Manager historic performance season rank. You see?
Okay, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I already had what this is not my worst season, by the way. It's not my worst season. My worst season
yeah.
was yeah
2017 was your whole
when
season.
I finished 13,000. Yeah, I can remember that season. That season it was just everything was not working for me. That season is different from this season. This season at least there's a time I feel I stopped playing. That season I never stopped playing. I keep playing. I keep playing, but
But
nothing
still,
was working for me that season. I finished, and this season I finished. Yeah, it's 200, 600,000. At least it's not the worst,
mhm,
but at least the for me, the reason why it is the worst is because I gave up.
mm.
I gave up in the way, and then I refuse to accept that giving up. I keep trying to force myself that I did not give up, but in my head I really give up. But
Yeah.
I'm just that one who will tell you that I give up. I will not say that, but
Mm.
really I did
Deep
give up.
down in your like in yourself.
Inside me, yeah,
Yeah.
I was not really playing the way I should be playing,
Yeah.
especially the
Um.
final few weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. So a segue to that. So what were your key takeaways? I'm sure you mentioned this in the beginning when we were talking about this whole season review. But what were your key takeaways for you this season that you would learn from and then take to next season?
Yeah. Let me remove this screen here. Let's go to this season. Ah, like never think that you have the blueprint of FPL because every season is different.
It's different.
Every
Thank you.
season is
Yeah.
absolutely
Definitely.
different.
Definitely.
Every season is absolutely different, and then you have to react to this kind of change fast, very quickly. For me, like, but I think this goes to all people, all managers who has played the, because I wasn't the one with a bad season,
Yeah,
like
few of you,
very
yeah,
very
a
good,
few of
very good FPL managers. There are a few that have a very good season. I don't know how they did it, but very few, very like very good FPL managers in the past, like the Max Stubbins, even Mark in the end he gave up. I can remember watching the black box. He could not even record with us anymore. Us was there every week, recording alone, calling somebody else to come and cover. He cover for Mark. But I
um,
understand, it's
yeah,
very difficult, especially if you are in this limelight. For me,
mm,
I'm not in the limelight, right? I'm not in any limelight. But for him, it was even harder for those kind of people
mm,
to deal with it. FPL Salah, he also had a very troubling season. A
yeah,
player, a manager who always finished in the top 1,000 or top 5,000 every season,
mm,
almost every other season. He had a troubling season. A lot of other FPL managers had a troubling season. But because this season was completely different in dynamics to the other seasons.
yep,
And then, like, how these good FPL, like those ones they are built, this was not the season for them. But for me, that is one takeaway. Every FA season is different to the other season, and then you have to adapt
adapt.
to what that season brings. So adaptability as an FPL manager, it should be key. It should be very important how you go, and this is something I will learn. But this is not to say that I will get go of what I have done in the past. Like,
Mhm.
I will still take my lessons from the previous season. I will not just say, okay, this season has changed, so let me just change with this season. I'm very stubborn. What worked previously, I still think it has a lot of value when it comes to playing FPL going forward. So when it comes to how you deal with your captaincy, I'm gonna stick to it. Even despite Haaland still being at Manchester City and doing all he's doing, I'm still gonna go. There are gonna be times I'm still gonna go against him. Those kind of things. I'm still gonna follow those kind of things. And yeah, plan yourself when it comes to the captaincy. Like I have been doing. I will bring back that, despite, like I say, despite Haaland's, what Haaland did this season. And never take like Bruce, this is my biggest lesson. The other things is just following from past. But my biggest lesson is adapt to what the season brings, and then try to change your
As
ways.
quickly as possible. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing is always that one. It has been there. Even the seasons I do well, I have always been biased with Liverpool, and then the Liverpool happen to do well. Then it happens to reflect on my season as
Mhm.
well. So I don't know that one. Somebody has to really help me how to deal with this situation, because it's
I
really
think
tough.
I think
But,
when
but,
it comes,
but it's conflicting, right? It is conflicting because they are good players too as well. So sometimes if I analyze in numbers terms, Liverpool, they tell me that they are the team to
yeah,
go for.
definitely.
So it's
Yeah.
difficult for me to say, okay, just because I'm a Liverpool fan, I am biased. That is not the bias point,
They're
but
looking
it's
at the
because
stats. When they start saying something different, yeah.
it's a difference. So I have to follow them.
Yeah.
Even though it means I am biased with Liverpool,
That
but
makes
yeah, that's my problem.
uh I think, to be honest, for me, my key takeaway this season is in past seasons when I took the game seriously, I was more involved. Like each and every move I will do, like I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I planned everything, write everything down. But this season was a bit different. And in a way I did well, but I wouldn't say it was my most involved season in FPL. I'm just being honest. I
Yeah.
think Haaland and Man City made it a bit easy for most managers to do what they need to do. Like if you just put in a bit of effort, in planning and having your chips, especially your chips, and double game weeks and these announcements, like the multiple game weeks or whatever, like, and you plan them properly, you are definitely meant to do well, especially if you have a normal start. But I
Mhm.
feel like if you're playing FPL, you need to be more involved. So I feel like depending on the season, doesn't matter what kind of season you're having, you need to be more involved and play your own game. You understand? So next season, I'm going to use the same approach as I started. I always like approach FPL in the beginning as the same. Like choose all a very template team, because like things can change. Like this season has taught me a lot that no FPL season is the same, like at all. You would think that, this is going to be the same as last season because of this and this and this, but dynamics are always changing. Arsenal players, all of a sudden Arsenal players were like template. You know, you need to have them in your team. Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard, all these three. You can have these three in your team, and like you have to have one of them. I always had the wrong one all the time. So, you know, so I feel like going in, for me, especially for me, going into the season with a template, and then from that template, you always like try to have your own picks, or try to go like get in front of the curve. You understand, to act like get the players that you need to get to before they even hit, before everybody else gets them. Because at some point, in different points of the season, everybody has the same team. And
Mm.
when you have the same team, or when everybody has the same team that you have, even though you have been there before, it's difficult to now identify the next batch of players to now get. That's the stage in that, like in the cover that I showed you my graph, that I like, it was difficult. It was a straight line. It was difficult for me to like to make headway, like to improve my rank, because I can't. Where else am I gonna go? You know? That's the yeah. So I feel like each and every FPL season is different. So try to adapt, like you said. The best thing I can take with me to a new season is try to start with everybody else in, because in that case it's like you being a very safe manager. You don't want to take too many risks. You don't want to, just be safe, be template, and then once your rank is above average, then you can start moving. But also the advantage of you like starting off very quickly, like with a sprint, like you said, is it can go bad and it can go well and it can go really
Yeah,
really bad. So I think you had both sides of the coin.
I
You
had
have
both
to,
sides in over 2 seasons. Yeah,
so yeah, I think it's a learning curve for me as well. Like you're starting, and like I feel like it's good to be a safe manager in the beginning for me. Yeah. So yeah.
but I think I even though I learned that lesson that it can go badly, I'm ready to take that risk again.
Again.
Personally,
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
yeah,
Of course.
I'm ready
Why
to
not?
take that risk again because like personally, I'm not gonna change just because I have a bad season. That's not gonna change like what my target is when I start the season. I'm gonna maintain the same target that I set at the start of last season. Where maybe hopefully when we record before the season start and then we talk about our season targets, I'm gonna maintain my target from previous season. Not yeah, my target from the start of the season. It's not gonna change. And by doing that, I think one way to do that to high risk, high reward. I think at the start, if I take that risk and have that sprint, of course, I will be more cautious this time around, but I'm still gonna take some bit of risk to start the season.
Okay.
And if I start that season like that, if I start it well, fine. If I don't start it well, this time at least I have this
Have a
lesson.
backup plan. Yeah. Okay. Have a backup plan.
Yeah, I
That
have.
this is
I've
what you
yeah.
do. Yeah. Definitely.
Exactly, but I think I am ready today. I'm not 100% because it's too early to talk about our teams at the moment, but it's something I still will not just say okay, it did not work for me, then I have to change it. Yeah,
Okay.
that is something I checked my captaincy five. I did not talk about that a little bit there. My average was 14.5 again. I think my worst was 12. When I had 12, that was when I realized my captaincy was bad. This season I
Mm.
had 14.5. So that is very bad for me, considering I think last season, after I went to the Scout podcast talking about captaincy metrics and stuff like this, even now they are adopting my style when it comes to captaincy because Joe, in his video, actually, he had his captaincy metric sticker already set. Season has started. He had this. I'm proud to see that those kind of managers are now following what I did or stuff like that. Yeah, it's not. I'm not the proprietor. Like I'm not the pioneer of captaincy metric. People have done it before. Maybe I just came with a different style of doing the captaincy metric sticker or stuff like that. And yeah, but yeah, 14.5 captaincy this season. 5 that it was very bad. But again, I will not take anything away. I will not take anything into that because of there was a point I get into the season. Final game week, I don't even make a captain. I don't even choose the captain I wanted to choose at the end of the day. So it's just yeah, it's a combination of things. So I will not take anything. I will not even add it into my analysis this season. I just know what happened. Like I know what happened. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I guess I think we've both learned from it, and it's better to air it out so that you are aware of it, and then you take it into the next
Mhm.
season. So yeah.
Yeah.
So moving on, I think it's a nice segue to talk about our teams, since you spoke about Liverpool so much.
Yeah.
This is just after the fact. Talk about Liverpool. Like, do you feel like they achieved what they wanted to achieve this season? I'm sure the answer is a no. But then, how do you
Mhm.
feel like overall, you will say that like what was the achievement this season and how well did they do? Like what went wrong and how do you think that Klopp is going to identify the problems in the team and how to correct those problems?
Liverpool. Like I think I said this at this, like I think at least in the Kotu Classic group chat or stuff like that. Like there are three levels of failure for a season. For me, it, like when we get relegated, of course it's not a possibility. It's a possibility, but it's a very low possibility for a club like Liverpool to get relegated at this stage of their development. So that will be complete failure for me. Not qualifying for the Champions League from where we come from, like the following season, that is also a failure. But it's something I can live with. Like we are not like we don't own the Champions League spot. We have to earn it. We have to work to get it. So we don't own that spot. So we did not do enough this season to get into that position. We started very poorly. We had a resurgence after the World Cup break, but then we have another bad run in the team, and players did not live up to expectations. We had the team, we had the players, we had the squad to do well. Yes, there are other factors that affected us. There is injuries, there is other players we lost, and all these kind of things. But at the end of the day, the team that we had, for me personally, it was good enough to finish in the top. Like I at the start of the season, I still felt that there was only one team superior to Liverpool, and that was the team that won the treble. That is Manchester City. They won everything. This team, even the season Liverpool won the league, I felt they were superior to us, but we just performed over what we should perform. So, but other than that team in the league, despite Manchester United finished ahead of us, despite Arsenal finished ahead of us, Newcastle finished ahead of us, the caliber of players we have, the team we have, the squad we went into the season with, we were better than all these teams. So if all those teams happen to finish ahead of us, it's a failure. And I will not, like, the coach has failed, the players has failed, the team Liverpool Football Club has failed. That is how I see the season. It was a season of failure. Coming next to your next point. How do I think we will come back from this? I think yes. I think yes. I think I still believe in the players that we have there, and with the right additions, and like I think we already added one player already. They already acted. I think these players can put us back to at least being part of that top four conversation, which we should always be part of with the team we have. In terms of competing for the top, I don't think we are there. I don't think we are there yet. It will take a lot, but with the manager we have and the caliber of players we still have at our disposal. I still think with some few additions, we can still compete with the best team in the league. But that does not mean I'm saying that we are as good as the best team in the league.
Yeah, I think that's well said. It's surprising for everyone. Like I think for Liverpool fans it was a shock. That's why you guys couldn't move on, especially when it comes to FPL. But we saw that we knew that something was wrong. We didn't know how to explain it. That's why most of us just moved away from Liverpool assets. Because from the outside, as if you're not a fan, you're very objective. You can see, you understand
Mhm.
something was wrong somewhere. So coming to my team, I'll keep it brief. Manchester United. I mean, new coach, first time in a very competitive league. The first two game weeks, I was like, this is not gonna work. I was like, man, did we make a mistake? Like, what is wrong? We were hammered, battered, and then kudos to the coach. He used the players that he had to play a system to survive. The way we played this season was not the way he is used to playing. But because of
Yeah.
the assets he has on the ground, he just utilized them to the best of their ability, and that was what he did. And then we managed to finish what, third. So I mean, it could have been worse. Anyway, so definitely, I feel like we overachieved. We could have done better. We could have probably finished. I don't think we could have done better because Arsenal they almost won the league anyways. So I think where we finished, like it was a very good, strong finish. But to
Yeah.
improve on that, to catch up on Man City, it's going to be a big task. Because you always want to cut down on the points. You don't look at the person in front of you. You want to see how many points they have, like ahead of you, so that you can catch up on those points by adding the players. If we get a striker like Harry Kane, somebody who has 30 or something goals, because scoring was our problem last season. We didn't have
Mhm.
a striker we can rely on. Marshall, even if the wind blows the wrong way, he's injured. He's out for like a few months. So so I mean, we need a striker that we can rely on. If we had Hurricane, we add us like 20 or 30 goals plus in the season. That definitely just cuts or chops down the points gap between us and Man City. We add a midfielder, it adds to our to catch up with Man City. Add a defender. So I mean, if we have about 5 or 6 different players, build up the because we have a really strong 11, barring a striker. So if we have a strong 11 and then we have backups to those strong 11, next season will be really like an improvement. But as things are right now, with all that's happening with the sale of the club, which is going to impact our transfer window, I think next season, if you ask me, if things continue the way they are, it's going to be worse. We're probably going to finish sixth or seventh again. So it's like one step forward, 10 steps back. Until we get the sale of this club 100% like sorted out, nothing is going to happen that is positive. Maybe one or two transfers here, like the missing Mount transfer, fine. But we definitely need a striker. That is one priority that the coach addressed that we needed. So yeah, let's hopefully fingers crossed things get sorted out on time, and then our transfer window is salvaged or saved. So let's see how it goes. Um, so let's jump to the fixtures. They have been released. I think we'll just talk about the first 4 fixtures, and just see what our initial thoughts are looking at the fixture ticker.
Okay, let me just bring it up. Okay. Yeah,
All right, game
finally.
week one, not the best. Looking at this is from Fantasy Football Pundit. We got this on Fantasy Football Pundit. It's a nice graphic from them. And looking at the fixture, I mean, Arsenal and Brighton are the ones that I see that jump out to me in game week one that have really good fixtures. Arsenal play Nottingham Forest at home. Brighton also play Luton, a newly promoted side, at home. The rest, you can say it's a give and take. The ones that jump out to me is Man City against Burnley, but it's away. But we all know Man City against Burnley, right? It's always a very funny fixture with them
Yeah,
hitting like the maximum number of goals. But you never know. So which fixtures can you actually like
and then
say
you
jump
have
out?
company. You have company there, right?
Oh yeah, Burnley, the new yeah, I know. It's gonna be
Yeah,
interesting. It's gonna be very interesting. I heard that they are really good. They're a really good team now. They're a bit different. So I've been excited to see them play. Like interesting, not excited, but interesting. So yeah.
yeah. I think you said the same thing. I think Arsenal is one of the teams. I think they will be very exciting to watch with them. The first team they are very good. Crystal Palace is quite tricky, but Nottingham Forest, Fulham, and the first four of their fixtures are home at home. So, and if you know me well, home fixtures plays a key role in how I make my decisions.
Mhm.
So Arsenal will be a team that I will be looking at from the start. And another team that seem to have a strong start is Manchester City themselves, right? Even though they have Burnley, Newcastle will be difficult, but they are playing two of the three promoted teams in the first 3 weeks. It can be tricky, but it can be interesting too as well.
Yeah,
Fulham, I
yeah.
think, is also not a bad fixture at home, even though they did very well last season. Man City will lose. So Man City's first 4 fixtures, because considering the Newcastle game is at home, right? So for that, for me, even though Newcastle will be better next season because we see these players they are
They're already
building,
signing some top talent, man. Yeah.
some top talents, yeah. And then of course we
Very
have to mention
good.
our boy Yakuba Minte. Of course he's on loan. He's going on loan to Feyenoord, but he's a player, very exciting player. I that kid is gonna be something special. You know what? I just want to mention another thing about him. I wanted to record a video on him about his career, like how he started and things like that. What he is as a player, what they can expect. But I'm scared to record that video, because if I record that one, it has to go for the Newcastle fans and everything. So I'm scared to record Yago Minte's video,
Just
but I
do
will
it.
do it.
Like for those who don't know, Newcastle signed a new Gambian prospect, like a star in the making, Yankubo Minte, and
Mhm.
Chairman knows more about his career. So coming from the Gambia all the way.
Actually, Che, but he's not going to record that one. But I will do it. I will definitely do it. I've started working on it. I have a lot of information on him. So, like you say, I
Watch
will
out,
do it. I
watch
will
out,
do it.
watch out for that video when it releases. You will put it on
Yeah,
the
that one has to, it has to go out. It has to go out. Yeah. So yeah, and you got Man City. They have interesting fixtures. Even so, your team United. I think the first three they are not bad. Tottenham is the only tricky one. But Wolves, they have lost their most expensive, their most important player. I think in Ruben Neves,
when Neves leaves.
and he's going, yeah. And then Nottingham Forest at home in the first three fixtures. Man United is not bad. My boys are not bad too, but the Chelsea one is the difficult one
I don't
because we
think
don't know what.
Chelsea is difficult so far because Chelsea is going to take time for them to like really
That's
understand
the
what
only good. That's the
like we
good
don't
thing.
know how long it's going to take. They have a new coach. They are trying to get as many players out of the door as possible. So who knows how that team is
Yeah,
going to look like at the end?
yeah, but
So
that's the good thing. That's the good thing for Liverpool. But again, you can say the same thing. You can say the opposite too. Like it's gonna be a new team. You don't know what to expect from them. How do you prepare for them?
yeah,
Understand?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that could be another problem with Chelsea. There are some teams they just come and then they just fly, And there are some teams they will take time to gel and stuff like that. I hope that is the case. They are trying to find their feet, and then but at the end of the day, it's Chelsea versus Liverpool. So you never it's gonna be it's not like it's always
Yes.
those games are always big. But if
Yes.
Liverpool
Mhm.
can get something out of that game, then the next three fixtures are Bournemouth, Aston Villa, and Newcastle in between. Aston Villa is never easy because
Aston
the
Villa is
last
not easy,
day,
yeah.
and
And
Newcastle is never easy. But
they're getting better,
mhm.
Aston Villa, Unai Emery is really good. I'm like, Aston Villa is like a different team right now. So it's not an
Yeah,
easy game for anybody right now. So yeah.
it's not.
Um,
But an improved Liverpool team, I think they can do them a job. And Bournemouth last season it was 9-0. Despite Liverpool's terrible form, they won Bournemouth 9-0, right? So that game is definitely is all over. It's written all over Salah, Captain Salah. I think I don't know. Maybe people will
Salah
captain
captain,
Haaland against
you
Newcastle,
can see United
but
playing Newcastle, so definitely you can captain Haaland on this. Well, not you can't, but it doesn't look likely because it's going to be a slightly difficult fixture compared to Salah against Bournemouth. So yeah, um, another one that
in a
jumps.
nutshell, like in the start of the season, there's a good trade of captaincy going. Nah?
Go ahead. I think you're kind of
Okay, go
breaking a bit.
ahead.
You're kind of breaking a bit.
No, I mean, okay. I mean, sorry. I mean, in the context of
Yeah, you're
if you
breaking.
see the teams in green, you can see
Yeah,
the first game. I'm breaking.
yeah, you're
I am
breaking.
breaking.
Yeah. Well, just go ahead.
Very.
We'll catch. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Then I can come back. I see my internet is a bit down. So go ahead.
Yeah, I was just looking at this, but on first thought, it doesn't really tell me much about who has the better fixture. I mean, I think you can say that. Let me see. One a bit. Yeah, I think
Go ahead. Go
Chelsea.
ahead.
I think Chelsea with West Ham, Luton, Nottingham Forest. Yeah, the first Luton and Nottingham Forest seem to be an easier thing for them. But I think that should be fine.
Mhm.
But the problem is which players are going to be in their starting 11. Right now, it's up for grabs. I mean, it's all up in the air. But they have signed Kunku. I think they signed him since last season, but then he's finally joined the team. They've signed a new striker. I think some of their younger players might still be there. So it's going to be interesting. I'm waiting to see.
Yeah,
I
with
like.
Chelsea, you said
Mhm,
something with Chelsea, right? I
yeah.
think Chelsea is a perfect fixture for FPL managers because
Mhm.
in the first few weeks you wanna watch and see what are they gonna bring.
But yeah,
So they have Liverpool, they have West Ham. Then you see, okay, these are the players we have to target. Then game
when
week
you
three,
go
you
into
can jump,
yeah, 3 and
you
4.
can jump on, you can jump on Chelsea going forward because Luton, Nottingham Forest, those are good fixtures for them, I think, at home. So yeah,
Brentford also they have Tottenham, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth. It's not the most difficult fixture. It's just like an average fixture, but they can get a lot from this. The only problem I have is their striker has been banned for how many games?
8 months.
8 months. So like, are they going to
He will
use?
miss this.
Yeah, are they
Yeah.
going to use because they were doing well even without him with this guy. What's his name again? The Sunderland
Memo.
striker. Bomo and the
Memo.
other guy, Visa. Is it Visa?
Visa, yeah, and they also signed a new number nine
Mhm.
from Germany. He was there last season, but they pay a lot of money for him. So
Okay.
it seems they are also having good high hopes on that kid. I
Okay.
forget the name, to be honest.
Yeah, that's also they're going to be one to watch. I think in the first few fixtures, but obviously apart from Man City, we all know Man City. Man City, Arsenal also not too bad. Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace, Fulham, and Man U for a game week four. So that's gonna be a bit interesting. So
Mhm.
those I think that's yeah, Brentford, Arsenal, um, Brighton, uh, Chelsea, obviously. Liverpool, the jury is still out. You guys, I think you need to convince me more. Salah is going to be there in my team, definitely. I'll tell you that for free. Salah is going to be
Mhm.
there. Yeah. Trent is going to be there. The rest, I am not so sure. So we'll see.
But if
Yeah.
you take Salah into that, that's 25. That's 25% of your budget already gone.
But you never know.
Definitely.
Trent is going to reduce in points because like
Or
coming
20.
from the previous season, he had like in the
Uh-huh.
previous season before this season before this past one.
Where,
He,
where did he finish in the points chart for defenders? I
I
think
can't
second.
remember, but I think
Was
less
he
than the previous season.
he was, but he was in the team of the season at the end.
Oh
And
really?
if you remember well, like in the final 10 games, he was the best player again in FPL
I
for
still feel
defenders. So
yeah.
I
Mhm.
don't think I don't think his price is gonna go down more than 0.5.
Yeah.
If
So
it goes,
if it's 7 million, it's that's reasonable, right?
it's reasonable. It's
Yeah,
reasonable. But the thing with this pricing thing is it's not just about the player doing badly. It's about the appeal for the player.
Mm,
If you understand what I mean,
yeah.
like
What
even though Trent had,
capable of doing? What is he capable of doing? Like on his day?
yeah, and also the managers. If
Mm,
even if they go to 8 million with Trent starting the season, there will be still some managers still stick with the Trent. That's what I
definitely,
mean. So
definitely. Yeah,
so
yeah.
so even 7.5, people will still go with him. So if you don't go, you will be alone, and then you know what this guy can do if he's on his
Definitely.
form. Especially you see him what he's doing for England right now,
In the
playing in
midfield,
midfield,
playing midfield. Yeah,
Liverpool
yeah.
moving into midfield. Even that will contribute into his pricing at the
Mm,
start of the season. It was bad that he had a very like in a. It was good for Liverpool fan. It was good for Liverpool. It was good for us to see him doing well. But in an FPL context, like if you are thinking about pricing, it was bad that he had that
but he did well.
late with this season. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I guess that's that, man. I mean, this is just an initial thoughts on the first 4 game weeks. So as the season is coming or is closer to getting started, we will do multiple more episodes and talk about the fixtures and the new signings and the exciting new players that we get to have in FPL. So yeah. Um, Jama, anything else we forgot to mention?
No, all
Been
good,
an
all
interesting
good.
talk.
We can close, man.
Hopefully we learn from this. So that was the most important thing. Hopefully
That was the thing. Yeah.
yeah. So guys, check out the Jollof Football Bantaba. We have some Gambian football programs for you. A lot of them they're coming to you thick and fast. So Jama is always on top of things. So hopefully we'll come back with some preseason episodes. Please watch this
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for
Definitely.
always supporting the pod. It's been a stop start of a season, but we promise the next season we will do much better. We'll probably hold ourselves to higher standards. So, but thank
Yeah.
you for always
Hopefully.
supporting the pod. Definitely appreciate each and every viewer that clicks on this pod. Thanks,
Peace.
guys.
Peace. Peace. Thank you.
Catch you guys on the next one.